Welcome back, all my silver and gold stockpilers and collectors. We're going over silver today, what I should have stacked. So, if I was to restart my whole stacking journey, start from the beginning, I have four options up here. We're going to go through the pros and the cons of each, and I'm going to tell you what I think personally. If I was to restart, what would I have started stacking again? All right, so let's start off on the right side. Let's go with the pros for each real quick. Now, pros of the right side, what I've seen in the past year, so this is 90% silver in the form of a Morgan dollar, and I've seen this, yeah, pretty consistently around like $4 to $11 back of spot. So out of everything on this list, a big pro for the Morgan dollar is you could have got it cheaper than any other silver piece on this list for the past year, and that's pretty much continuously. So if you're looking for the most bang for your buck, the right one right there, that Morgan, that's probably a big pro on that one. All right, moving on, poured silver. So this is a silver round poured by myself, of course, and it's an awesome one. What's good about poured silver? It keeps you interested. There's a whole bunch of different designs, and you could build a pretty awesome stack. Like, yeah, you can pretty much get whatever you want in whatever form, whatever shape you want. If you don't like rounds like this, you could get it in bars and all the above. Your whole imagination could be you could stack anything you think of. Pretty much you could stack, and that's, I think, a big plus. Keeps you interested, keeps the hobby alive. If you ever feel like you're getting bored with it. All right, next. All right, this is a generic round and in the form of a buffalo. So one thing good about the buffalo is, just like the coins on the far right and far left, the buffalo is super popular. A lot of people know about this design, and there's actually some people in the community that stack multiple different designs and try to collect all the designs of this piece right here. So the buffalo, it's a generic piece, meaning it does not have a denomination. So there's no dollar value assigned to this piece. It's just a generic silver round. And most of the time that I've seen this within the past year, you're probably looking at $3 and under over spot. So like $1 to $3 over spot sometimes. Actually, my last pickup, I think I was at like 40 some, probably 40, little, like probably 48 cents or something around there over spot on my pickup. So it wasn't too bad on that generic silver. Um, yeah, you pretty much could get it. You know what you're gonna get for it. I would say that it's just a generic piece, and for me, I pretty much know if I'm ever gonna get that, I'll probably be on the buy side between, you know, spot and $3, and that's pretty consistent for this whole past year. All right, and also they have a lot of different kinds of generic, just like poured. Um, I would say poured, you could get, there's more variety out there. A lot of different makers, a lot of you know, uh, creators out there, and it's the same as generic. A lot of different mints, a lot of different designs, some collectible stuff that it's pretty awesome. Actually, we got a lot of different collectible items in the generic space. All right, moving on. It's the American Silver Eagle. Pros for that. This is another super popular round. And one thing about this is I've seen it keep a lot of premium within this past year. So when it comes to the sell side, we had something crazy happen where the refiners were backed up. Actually, the American Silver Eagle was one of the last items that they were still buying, that they were still accepting. And yeah, so they stopped accepting a lot of silver, and the American Silver Eagle was one of the last items that they were still buying. I consider that a super positive thing right there, knowing that it's wanted by pretty much everybody. Everybody knows it. A lot of people want it, and I consider that a huge, huge, huge pro because you're able to move it, right? All right, let's talk about some cons real quick before I tell you my final answer. Now we'll go backwards. Let's go keep on the American Silver Eagle and then we'll go to the right. So the American Silver Eagle, cons about this, from what I've seen, from a pro being, you could probably keep moving it, keep selling it, pretty much to the last piece of silver. A con would be it's more expensive than another coin, which is in the far right, and that's the Morgan dollar. So they both have a denomination on it, but this one's this government coin right here is just so expensive. I guess that's probably a con. A good thing is everybody want it. A bad thing is so expensive. So yeah, it's hard to say. The premium has been high and it's not consistent. Different shops you could get this like $5 over spot, $10 over spot, and it just fluctuates. You have to be on the search, and you probably would be better off looking at multiple sites, looking at multiple coin shops to try to get the best deal you can. And so that's pretty much a con on this one. I think it's a little bit more work on the buy side. So that's a con on that. That's a con for generic silver. I guess one of the cons I've seen on this one is on the sell side, you don't get as much as the Silver Eagle. So I've seen people offering anywhere from like $1 back a spot to like $7, honestly, back a spot for generic silver, and that's this past year that I've seen that. So it's not, or out of these four, it's one of the ones that you might not be able to get spot for consistently. Like the American Eagle, you could probably get spot pretty consistently or get more than the Silver Buffalo. So Silver Buffalo is just, I guess, right under that. Probably, yeah, like I said, like, anywhere from $7 back a spot, and from spot to $7. All right, moving on. Some cons for poured silver. Poured silver, when I look at this, it's hard. So if you're the first person buying it, it's probably because you want to buy it, right? You buy poured silver because either it's something that you're into, something that you like, something that you probably never seen and you would like to have, but a con would be, does the next person after you like what you like? You know what I mean? Like this, for example, it's a Luffy round. So I could sell this to somebody that likes pirate themed stuff. But then that person that I sell it to, I guess if they don't have connections where they can move it, if they ever did need to move it, would they be able to make their money back out of it? And honestly, that's probably not. You're probably going to be, especially if you're going to a coin shop. So if you're going to a coin shop, you're probably going to get less than a Buffalo for a poured silver piece. And I guess, of course, this depends on which shop you go to, but more than likely, I wouldn't plan on getting spot. Well, I guess that's for every silver. I wouldn't plan on getting spot for anything. But especially with poured silver, they're going to have to test it, of course. They'll probably be more prone to testing this than any of the others. And yeah, it might be a little bit harder for you to move. And you might not get your money back, depending on how fast you want to sell it, especially if it's like right away. So if you're buying this, it's definitely like a collectible piece just for you and yourself. All right, so next to the right, the last one is a Morgan silver dollar. Let's go with that con. What is a con of a Morgan silver dollar? I've seen 90% to where, I guess first off, there are some shops that weren't even buying it, which because they were flooded, and I guess it's just like the anything not pure, they were not accepting it at the time. So it's 90%. They were flooded with it, and they just had people had no way of getting rid of it. Now, not everybody. Some people do have ways, of course. If you're listening to this, there's actually different ways you could get rid of it, but it might be a little bit harder than just walking into a coin shop if they're not accepting it. All right, a little more shipping, a little more risk on your side. And this, I've seen it back like, man, I try to do a swap personally from 90% to 3 9s, and a lot of people are probably like, "Payne, what are you talking about?" Well, I pour silver, so I just want to do a swap. But they were charging me, it was like 325 ounces around there, 3 and a quarter, that I was trying to swap a silver, and they were charging me $100 face value and 90%, like 112 just for that swap. That's like around 80 ounces. So they wanted pretty much to keep like $112 face, or that would be the charge. So that is super bad. I mean, that's worse than poured silver. That's like worse than everything on this list, and that is a super con. Super con. Like, one, they weren't even buying it. Some shops, two, they're charging like arm and a leg because they couldn't move it. Like, it was the worst possible probably silver to have in whole 2026, I believe. So yeah, that's what I've seen. And that's, tell me what you guys think about the pros and the cons that I just said of each of those. And all right, so if I was to restart my silver stacking journey, knowing what I just said right now, pros, cons of each, and these all have pros and cons, what would I stack? Personally, I think for me, the middle ground would be that buffalo. I think the middle ground would be that buffalo for sure. I know a lot of people would rather choose the eagle because even if they pay, say, a $4 5 premium, let's say they pay a $5 premium, right? And silver stays roughly in, just say the 60s, all right? It's been in the 60s for a while. Let's just say that. It's been in the 60s for a while, and they're constantly paying 65, right? So that's a $5 premium, but at the time, they're constantly could probably sell it for 60, which is spot, right? Just say that. So a lot of people lean towards that because if silver ever went to 70, and that's just, it's swings that actually happen, $10 swings nowadays, pretty common. Then they already made their money back, so on that premium. So a lot of people would pick the American Eagle. Personally, for me, I'm still on the little cheaper side, and you're like, paying, but if you could buy a generic round for $3 over spot, why wouldn't you just pay $2 extra for the Eagle? I guess that's just personal preference. And yeah, so that's what I would pick. I would pick generic rounds, and I'll probably roll with that. And 90% silver, man, I've heard people say that, it's going to come back, Payne. Personally, I haven't been stacking long enough to see a premium on 90% at all, except for the collectible one. So I don't know. I'm not too sure about that, but of course, like all things, time will pass and I'll see it eventually if I do. And yeah, but I do have a lot of 90%. So if that time ever comes, then I guess it's all good. But for now, since like 17 months already into stacking, I'm personally going into, I need 9 more Morgans to complete my $200 face up Morgans challenge, and that's pretty much my ammo can. F-Tac, fill those ammo cans. So on the poured silver, my goal is 100 silver poured pieces. You're looking at a 2-ounce piece right there on that Luffy, and my goal is 100 poured pieces right there. All right, buffaloes. Currently not melting buffaloes, so, but I'm also not looking for it right now. Isn't that interesting? I just said I would, if I was to restart, I would probably get that. Currently not looking for it because of my other goals, but if it comes into the stack, I'm not melting it, so I'm holding off to the side. And then the Eagles, definitely not stacking that. It's probably my only one in my stockpile, honestly. The one that you see right there. I was actually surprised that I had one, and I was like, oh, I got one. All right. Oh, matter of fact, I lied because we did a silver pickup, and I said I was going to put this in my auction. So I'm doing an auction in January 2nd. Be there or be square. I'm about to do some buck and goals on some Eagles. But yeah, there is my video of I should have stacked this. So if I woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda restarted, yep, definitely I woulda went generic all the way. And yeah.